In my document, the head element is going to be important for me to provide metadata to browsers and search engines that are looking at this document. We have the title in there now. It says Hello HTML. We can see that gets displayed in the browser tab. And that's about the only piece of information you're going to see out of the heading that actually gets displayed. But as I said, the browsers and search engines are going to be looking to this information as they review your page. So one common thing to put in here is this meta tag. We'll often have a name, I could say author, and some content. We'll put in my name there. And that meta information is something that the browser could use, but more likely you're going to find that search engines are going to use that for defining or determining what's on your page when they search and when they provide their search results. So we could put an author and a description in there, for example. And you'll notice if we come down and we refresh in the browser, nothing really happens. It doesn't change the representation in any way. It's just metadata that can be used in there. Now, one key piece of metadata that you might want to give is keywords. You put keywords here, and for the content, you can do some comma-separated list of keywords that you want to include. Again, this is something that a search engine then could find. So rather than having to look over all of the content in your document to figure out what it's about, you can pull out those keywords to indicate, hey, this is about Pluralsight, it's about the sample, it's HTML. Now there's many things that search engines use, including the URL itself, the name of the file, some of the content, primarily the H1 or the primary heading in your page, but the keywords can help there as well. Now we had before, in the previous example, an issue with the validation of our document because the validating engine didn't know what the content type was or what the encoding was. We'll just paste in here. Another thing you can do with the meta tags is instead of a name, you can use this HTTP equiv or HTTP equivalent, which says this particular content is the equivalent of this HTTP header. So at the HTTP protocol level, you would likely get a content type back, but we're going to put it right in the document and say that this is a text HTML document. That's the content type, and we're using the UTF-8 character set. So the meta tag provides those directions to the browser or to the search engines. We also have the ability to add in script. So we can put in script and we can say, well, this is JavaScript. So it's text/JavaScript is the type of this script. And script allows us to come in then and do things like put a function in. So I'll say there's a function for when the window loads. And I can simply do an alert. That's just a simple example of script. We can do a variety of things. We can reference the document, change the document. But if we save that and come run it, we'll see now we get a JavaScript alert or message box that pops up. So script is one thing you can add in here. Like I said, best practice is that often that script will be in an external file. So you'll reference it with the script tag. So you could do something such as this. And you could put the type in. You can also put in styles. So you can do inline styles. Again, we do the type. Say it's a cascading style sheet. And in here I might say I want to apply a style to the body. And I could say that the color is red. So if we refresh that, we see our script runs and our style is applied. And so the color of our content is now showing up as red. As I said, we've got courses on style sheets and script that'll take you a lot deeper into those things, but you'll see in those courses that you can reference these things here in the header, or you can use the link. So I can use a link element here, and I can provide a relationship. So let's say for the style sheets, for example, I might want to link to that. I'll say the href is index.css. If we look over here, I've got an CSS file. Open that up with Notepad. We'll see that it has the body, the background color set to black. So by linking that in, I'm telling the browser, hey, here's a related document. It's a style sheet. That's the relationship. Here's the href, or the address of that. go find that and use that. And so now if I refresh the page, our script runs, and now the styles from within the document, as well as those that were linked in with that link tag, are applied. So we see the black background as well. The final thing we want to touch on then is the base element. And what the base allows you to do is provide a base address for all relative links or relative URIs within the page. So here I've provided a base address of http://www.pluralsight.com, and that now is going to be used as the base address for any relative references that I use in the page. As an example, the CSS file we were just referencing used a relative address. It said relative to this page, there's a CSS file. So here's our page, our HTML markup. Here's a file right in that same directory with the index.css. That worked before, but now we've changed that base address. We've said, well, whenever you're going to use a relative address, it's not going to be relative to the page, it will be relative to this base URI. So now it will resolve out to the pluralsight.com server /index.css. And if we refresh the page, we see our script in the page runs, our styles in the page still get applied, the body color of red, but because it went out and tried to find this file out on the Pluralsight servers and it doesn't exist there, behind the scenes the browser did a request for it, didn't find it, and therefore none of those styles got applied. We can fix that pretty easily simply by putting a comment around our base so we can get back to a working state. And this is how we apply a comment in HTML markup. We use the less than, exclamation, and 2 dashes to start the comment, and then 2 dashes and a greater than symbol to close out the comment. And if we save and refresh, now you can see we're back to where we started. So the base can be helpful if you want to provide a common root or base for your relative addresses in the page, so they all resolve based off of that, as opposed to resolving based on the page that those links or those hrefs are currently on.